You know, the energy is amazing, and if you just look, we have the governor on one side, we have the Secretary of State on the other, all of these women that are welcoming all of you for your campaigns, the city and town council, and for your races and reps and senators. So I want to give all of you a big hand. Because this is not about one person. This is a pink wave, which means it's everyone. Together, we are successful. And finally, last, I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Rep. Lauren Carson, to remind us why we organized this and to make sure that you have a call to action and do something before you leave here today. Lauren?
Thank you, Deb. It's very clear that women are running in record numbers this year. According to Emily's list, in August of just last month, 36,000 women were running for statewide offices before the primaries across this country, which is a substantial number of women. So who is this pink wave? The pink wave is being largely generated by younger, more energetic women, although I see many of my colleagues who are my age, and I know that you're still with the young women.
We are young.
But if you look in the room, there are a lot of young faces here, and I want to especially reach out to them and tell you thank you for coming, because it's very important. Very important that you're here. So why do we have a pink wave? We have a pink wave because women want a visceral shift in the way politics is being managed in this country. In the large part, women want to get things done. And a study that was done by the Center for American Women in Politics at Rutgers just recently, they learned that men are in it because of their egos and because they like the power. And it's women that actually want to get things done. Policymakers up here with my colleagues, we face many challenges being elected in a system that's largely dominated by men. And there was another study that was done by a gentleman by the name of Craig Bolton at the University of Virginia, where he determined that on the issues of health, housing, and education, when those bills are put in by women, they do not get the same traction that the same bills put in by men get. And that's something that we have to change. It's determined that women policymakers become very frustrated because our exact bills don't go as far as the men bills on the same exact issues. It's also been widely determined, and you can see this anywhere online, that women policymakers are more collaborative. That's been widely documented. And Pew reports that, according to their research, voters believe that women are equally qualified to serve as the men. So that's what we're trying to prove to them today. I want to close with a few remarks. I found a website yesterday in preparing my remarks that identified milestones for women, and I thought I would share a few of them with you. In 1887, Suzanne Salter became the first mayor in the United States. In 1894, Clara Ham, Carrie Holley, and Frances Flock, Republicans, became the first women voted into any legislature in Colorado. And note that women were not allowed to vote when they were elected. In 1916, Jeannette Rankin became the first Congresswoman, a Republican from Montana. In 1923, Soledad Chacon became the first Latina to serve in a statewide office as Secretary of State in New Mexico. In 1924, Cora Anderson became the first Native American woman to be elected to office. She was a Republican. In 1925, Nellie Ross became the first woman to be a governor of any state in Wyoming. So many, many women have come before us and forged a path. But I want to speak to the men as well. I think it's important that we talk to men, because I want to tell the men that we don't necessarily want to focus on our sex and our identities. We want to focus on what we've accomplished. If you listen to what the governor says she's accomplished, if you listen to what our Secretary of State said she's accomplished, women in Rhode Island have created jobs, they've cleaned the water, they've taken care of senior citizens, we have accomplished things, and that's why we want to go back. Representation matters very much. And I encourage the men that will read about this in the paper or get to watch it online to have a conversation tonight at the dinner table with your sons and your daughters, and to talk to them about electing women, to talk to them about the accomplishments of women. And I encourage the men and the women and the children to get out on September 12th, and to get out and vote. I ask the men to look very seriously at the women candidates that are running. We are very accomplished, we are very talented, and we're ready to run. I want to recognize our House colleague, Marcia Van Rassel, who would have been here with us today, but she's out with a broken back, for those of you that don't know. I spoke to her yesterday. We wanted her to speak, but she could not get here because of her injury. The last thing we would like everyone to do is to take out their phones right now, if you would, and take a picture of this room from any vantage point that you're in, and tweet it, and put it on Facebook, and send it to 10 people in an email. And please use the hashtag VotePinkWaveRI today. We want to get this message out today. I want to thank everyone for joining the Pink Wave today, and we'll see you on Election Day in the ballot booth.